My crazy entitled mother-in-law demands that she wear a white dress at my wedding while also requesting I wear anything else, claiming that because she didn't get to experience a wedding, she deserves the right to walk down the aisle and feel what it's like. But after I found out that my fiance is somehow okay with this plan, I put my foot down and I told him that is absolutely not going to happen. And now at this point, I'm thinking I might need to call off the wedding because I seriously do not know what to do. Here's what happened. So have you ever seen I Love a Mama's Boy? Well, that's my life basically. I'm a 27-year-old female, and I've been with my fiance, who we will call John, ever since high school. We dated and broke up because his mother, who we will call Debbie, convinced him that we were too young to be in love. So we broke up and went to college. During my sophomore year, we started talking on socials again. He apologized and said that he missed me, and eventually we got back together. Well, cue the waterworks. Debbie literally cried the first time she saw that we were back together and told John that I have done witchcraft on him. I've always respected Debbie out of respect for my mother and upbringing, and I was not raised to go back and forth with my elders, but she definitely messes with that. Since John and I decided to get back together, she has tried to hook him up with women from her church, as well as her job, and even asked her friends for their daughters to give it a shot. John denies all of them, and Debbie says that I'm controlling. John has also told her to stop, but not in a way that I feel gets the point across. Anyways, 3 months ago, John proposed, and of course, Debbie didn't come to the engagement party, and it's like, cool, whatever. She also didn't come to the family dinner so we could have both sides meet each other. But fortunately, John's dad did come, and he apologized for his ex's behavior. And yes, he left her when John graduated high school. But when John's dad did that, I told him don't worry about it. Now, the problems really began when John decided to confront his mother about how she's behaving towards our whole engagement. This turned on the light bulb in his brain, as he's always tried to ignore it and tell me to ignore her. She gave him some kind of sob story about how she got pregnant with him before marriage, and she never really got to have a wedding, and that this is so triggering for her. And for reference, she basically had a forced wedding at the courthouse. He then asked her what she needed to feel comfortable, and she responded that if she wore a white dress at my wedding, and if I wore some kind of pink or lavender dress, only then would she feel comfortable. Now, my fiance for some reason thought that this was a fair compromise. He also said, and not asked me by the way, that his mom could walk me down the aisle so that she can get her moment in her dress. But I told him absolutely not. We then got into an argument about it. I told him that it is absolutely insane that he would argue with me to defend his mom's honor, but wouldn't do the same the other way around. He accused me of being petty and selfish. I mean, this was really bad. We both agreed to cool off, but by how heated it got, I could tell we both almost agreed to call it off. Well, right now we're in a weird space, and I love John, but I now see how much he lets her impact our life. I just imagine her sitting at home with this evil grin, knowing that she's ruining my relationship with John, and he's just putty in her hands. At this point, I think I should just call off the wedding, because right now I really don't know what to do. Dear God, your fiance is absolutely delusional. This is not a compromise. His mom is literally trying to be some kind of like pretend bride at your wedding. Like, this is some crazy level of narcissism. It's not even funny. And the fact that she's trying to be like, oh, this is how I can feel better. If your wife wears something besides white at her own wedding, I'll feel good about it. It's like, what are we talking about? If she wants to have some kind of moment of walking down the aisle in a dress, she can do that on her time and her dime. So the fact that your fiance is like, oh, come on, this is just to help her out, like, that is crazy to me, and that is absolutely unacceptable. Like, seriously, who in their right mind would be okay with this? Their stupid mom is being like, oh man, I should wear white at your wedding, not your bride-to-be. But it's like, do you hear yourself right now? Why on earth is John agreeing to this? So truly, I hope this all works out for you, and I really hope John sees the light of day, because his mom sounds like an absolute psychopath. If you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out, link down below in the description. Also, go to amithejerk.com/submit if you would like to submit your own stories. Am I the jerk for telling my mom that she'll regret picking her husband over her children? Because after my mom practically abandoned her entire family, she's now justifying it by saying that we never appreciated her when she was there. And at this point, I don't know what to do. Here's what happened. I'm a 23-year-old female, and my husband moved in with my mom over the summer to help my mom with her bills and to help take care of my 3 younger siblings. The main reason for this move was because I did not want her to get back with her boyfriend that she had been dating on and off for the past 7 to 8 years. Not long after we moved in, she starts talking to him again after repeatedly telling me that she was never going to get back together with him. She then goes on to marry him, and since then has taken on this mentality that she is his wife and has responsibilities towards him. So she has to be with him 24/7, which in turn meant to me and my siblings that we would see her less because he does not live with us. Ever since she got married, she goes directly to him after work, and the only time my siblings see her is in the mornings when she takes them to school. I mean, she's not even home during the weekends. Recently, this past weekend, my mom and I ended up arguing over text messaging because my siblings miss their mom and they wanted to see her. She then chooses to, instead of coming to see her kids, to call them and tell them that she is too busy to see them and that when she was there, all they ever did was play video games. But now that she's with her husband, they suddenly miss her and they want to spend all this time with her. This made my siblings very sad, which naturally made me step in and tell her off. I told her that she can't be serious right now and that obviously her children are going to miss her. That even though they might have a roof over their heads and food, that doesn't mean they still don't need their mother's presence more than just a few minutes in the morning when they're going to school. I told her she can't seriously be picking a man that has literally shown he does not care about her over her children who do love her. She responded by telling me the same thing she told my siblings, that when she was with us, my siblings didn't appreciate her and that they just spend their time playing video games. And I'm like, be for real, you're resenting them as if they're not literal children. Like, where's that energy with that man that has literally done nothing good for us? She then tries to guilt trip me by being like, oh, so I'm a bad mom now? Okay, that's fine, you'll regret your words one day. She then hangs up on me and refuses my calls. She then texts my sister telling her that she's not going to talk to me anymore. So I texted her. I told her the one who's going to regret her words is you, and you'll be sorry for picking a man over your children. The day you learn to not put a man on a pedestal is the day that you will get your blessing. It's a serious mental problem to be so attached to a man. I said that I love her, but I know she's not okay by doing what she's doing. Well, as a result, she's now no longer talking to me and only contacts my siblings. So am I the jerk for giving my mom a much needed reality check? Because right now I don't know what to do. Oh man, your mom absolutely needed to hear all of this. She seriously is sitting there and being like, wow, you guys never appreciated me. When I was there, all you did was play video games. And it's like, yeah, lady, these are kids you're talking about. They're gonna want to play games and, like, I don't know, relax after school. Just because they're doing that doesn't mean that they don't love you. And also, that's a horrible cop-out. She's literally trying to be like, wow, you guys never appreciated me, and now I'm gone and you're trying to act like you actually care? Like, what is she talking about? She does know that she's their mom, right? So to answer your question, no, you're absolutely not the jerk. Your mom needed to hear this because her behavior, in my opinion, is completely atrocious. I feel as though my girlfriend is using me for money, as I have literally spent thousands of dollars on her in the 7 months that we've been dating, because right now I feel very taken advantage of, and at this point I don't know what to do. Here's what happened. So my girlfriend and I have been dating for about 7 months now, and ever since the beginning, she set expectations that I need to pay for everything. We're talking meals, gifts, trips, etc., which at the time I agreed to. Well, here's where things kind of get weird. At one point, we separated after a big fight. When we got back together a week later, she wanted me to meet her at the mall. After a long discussion, she said to me, every time you mess up, the price of admission gets higher. I asked her what she meant, and she said to me, how about we go shopping around the mall? In the end, I spent over $500 buying her a new designer brand wallet, expensive chocolates, and a high-end dinner. I know her love language is primarily gift-giving and acts of service, so I figured that this was a way of showing that I cared about her. Now, I say all of this because I feel like I've been very generous with her, and I am feeling a bit weird about all of it. Well, a few months ago, my sister invited my girlfriend to join our family trip to the Philippines this February. I told my girlfriend that this would be a great opportunity for her to meet my parents and spend time with us as a family. I offered to pay for her ticket as a gift since her birthday is right before the trip. Well, a month later, during a brief breakup, my girlfriend shot me some very fiery text messages that I also relayed to my sister. My sister was very upset, and when we got back together, I told her that my sister wasn't happy with how she treated me, among other things. My girlfriend then went off by saying, your sister looks like a dog, so screw your sister. She is a fake feminist. Now, I figured she was just angry, so I didn't take it to heart. But after that, it was clear the two of us didn't like each other. Well, this week, she told me that she wouldn't forgive my sister, and I told her I'm not sure they could reconcile in time. Then I told her that I wouldn't be here for Valentine's Day since I would be going on the family trip. She then shot me an angry look. I said to her, what's wrong? She said to me, I thought you were going to gift me a ticket to the Philippines for my birthday. But I just said, what? You said you hate my sister. Why would you want to go on a trip with her? She said to me, I wouldn't, but we could have worked something out. You could have flown me out after your family thing, and we could have spent a week exploring. But I said to her, the point of giving you a ticket was to spend time with my family and for you to meet my parents. Plus, I spent a couple $1,000s on you in these past few months in jewelry, gifts, and other things. And that would be a lot from my budget right now, especially since she would expect me to pay for everything on the the trip. My girlfriend then accused me of being financially irresponsible, that I don't understand what a partnership is because I made this decision without her. She then canceled our Christmas plans together and I was really hurt. She said to me, "See, it doesn't feel so nice to have something you're looking forward to canceled, does it?" Right now, all of this feels really petty and mean, and I honestly feel like I'm being used. What should I do? Man, I gotta be honest, if you don't know what to do right now, then I don't think you ever will know. Because if I was in your shoes, this would be a deal breaker. There's no way on planet Earth I would ever go along with someone treating me like this and talking about my family and the way that your girlfriend was talking about your sister. Never mind the fact that she is literally squeezing you for money, but also the audacity for her to attack your sister after she found out the way that your girlfriend's been talking to you. Like, this is nasty across the board and you do not deserve this. So hopefully you can come to understand that this lady is using you for money. She doesn't care about you or your family at all, and she's only trying to get as much out of you that she can. And if you really can't see that, then unfortunately you deserve to learn the hard way. Am I the jerk for not defending a girl I barely know after she was kicked out of the friend group for asking to be paid for something that I already basically paid her back for? Because right now I kind of feel guilty, and at this point I don't know what to do. Here's what happened. I'm a 21-year-old female and I have a group of about 6 friends. And 2 months ago, a new girl who we will call Jane was introduced to the group. For context, one thing our friend group does is trade services. For example, I'll do one of my friend's nails for free and she'll do my hair for free when I need it done in the future. And we generally try to keep the trades within the same price range. For example, if my hair costs $60, I'll trade doing nails for about $60 to $70. And anything over $10 is usually paid on top of the free service. To be clear, there is zero obligation to do these trades, and to my knowledge, no one has ever been pressured into one. It's all about favors and doing nice things for your friends. Anyways, Jane joins the group about 2 months ago and immediately started asking about my nails. At one point, she says she can't afford to get hers done right now, so I asked her if she wanted to do a trade. For reference, Jane makes her own t-shirts, clothing, and accessories. Well, the nails I ended up doing for her cost about $160. When it was my turn to pick clothes and accessories out, I ended up leaving about $70 worth. I told her not to worry about paying me back for the extra $90, and all in all, I thought it was a good experience, and I got to talk to Jane one-on-one, so it was really fun. Well, that is until this recent Wednesday. I get a text from Jane apologizing, saying she realized she can't afford to just give away $70 worth of her stuff, and that she needs me to pay her back as soon as possible, or she needs the stuff back. At first, I'm really confused, because I could not have been more clear about how the trades work, and I never forced her into one. I apologized back to her, but I said I didn't have some of the smaller items as I planned to gift them to my sister for her birthday. Jane then kept telling me to just pay her back, and I said that I would when I get paid from my job. But the issue then became her texting. She went to our group chat to complain to everyone about me not paying her for the clothes that she gave me. She ended up letting it slip that it was a trade, and everyone told her that she can't back out of the deal weeks after it happened. She ended up going on TikTok to complain about how I stole from her and that I'm refusing to pay her back. And in response, she was eventually kicked out of the friend group. However, now the friend group is split. Half say that I should have just paid her as she does seem to be genuinely struggling, while the other half say that I'm under no obligation to pay her due to the agreed terms of the trade. The first group think that I'm kind of a jerk, and Jane definitely thinks that I am. So truly, am I in the wrong here? Because right now I don't know what to do. Okay, honestly, I don't think you did anything wrong, because it seems like what you're doing is very specific to your group. And from the sounds of it, you explained it really well. You said, hey, we're gonna trade and you're gonna get something out of this, and so am I. So for her to swing back by and be like, actually, I kinda need that money like as soon as possible, so if you could pay me back, that would be great. It's like, I'm sorry, that's not how this works, and no, I'm not gonna pay you back. So in my opinion, I wouldn't pay her a single dime because the way she's acting is so stupid, especially considering the fact that she knew how these trades work in the first place. Am I the jerk for not inviting my friends to go skiing with me after I told them I was going by myself so that I could practice and build up my skills so that I could keep up with them? Because right now they're really offended that I didn't invite them to my practice sessions. And at this point, I don't know what to do. Here's what happened. I'm a 20-year-old female and I am a beginner skier. I started skiing about 2 days ago with a day pass. I did about 4 days last season, and this is my first year with a full season pass. I also bought some decent used skis to make it worth the cost. I go to school in Colorado, so I can easily drive up to ski for a day and then come back to sleep at home. For context, I'm confident on green runs, and I can handle blues without much issue. However, I'm not skilled at tricks, and the one time my friends took me on a short black diamond, I was terrified. I just recently figured out the difference between parallel turns and carving, and I've almost mastered hockey stopping. hopping, but I still lack confidence in that skill. Well, this is where I might be the jerk. Sometimes I don't invite my friends when I go skiing. Skiing with them can feel intimidating because they're so much better than me, and I feel pressure to keep up or tackle harder trails that I'm not ready for. I hate feeling like I'm holding them back or risking my life on trails they prefer. When we do ski together, they typically leave me towards the end of the day to tackle harder runs while I enjoy some peaceful time working on greens or easier terrain. So this season, I decided to ski solo more often to practice and build my skills and confidence. This way, when I do go with them, it's more fun for everybody. And you know what? It's been working. I've improved a lot and recently invited them to ski, and they were surprised at how much better I had gotten. I'm still no professional, but I was keeping up with them much better than usual, and I even tried some small jumps in the terrain park, though I still fall sometimes. They asked me how I'd improved, and I explained that I had been skiing on my own to practice. Well, they got upset that I didn't invite them to join me on those practice days. I tried to explain that those days were just for repetitive drills on greens and small parks, and I didn't want to feel judged or pushed to advance faster than I was comfortable with. Well, the car ride home was really tense, and for context, I'm the main driver for our group since I have the only car that can fit everyone and the gear. Others have a car that can make the trip, but not with everyone and the gear, so mine is the go-to. And while the silence isn't unusual, it definitely felt awkward this time. So now I'm wondering if I was wrong for not inviting them to join me on my solo ski trips, even though those days were specifically for personal practice. So am I the jerk in this situation? What should I do? No, I don't think you're the jerk at all. You described it perfectly. You literally only did those so that you could practice and try to keep up with your friends. You weren't trying to intentionally leave anybody out. You were doing that so that you could practice and improve on your own. Because I totally understand where you're coming from. I've participated in hobbies where my friends were significantly better than me. They knew exactly what they were doing, and I felt like I was holding them back. So the fact that you went solo to try and work on your skills, just so you can better keep up with them, in my opinion, is not a shot at them. It doesn't mean you don't want to go skiing with them, because obviously you do. That's the whole reason behind why you're practicing, so you can go on those harder trails with your friends and not feel left behind. So no, you're not the jerk for not inviting them, because in my opinion, I think you did the right thing by trying to develop your skills. Am I the jerk for not inviting a girl from my college to a museum trip with me and my friends? Because right now she's saying that I did a very callous and cruel thing to her, stating that she deserved to go and that if I was a good friend, I would have invited her in the first place. But right now I feel really guilty and I seriously don't know what to do. Here's what happened. I'm a 20-year-old female currently attending university. I'd like to think that I'm pretty well liked on my course, and I know and speak to a big amount of people. One of those people we will call Mary. Mary is a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, especially BBC's Sherlock. In fact, she had a picture of Martin Freeman as her lock screen for a long time. It's something that we bonded over, as I saw one of her projects was Sherlock based and we got talking. We've known each other for about 2 or so years now, but we're the sort of friends you only see or speak to inside of university. I've never hung out with her one-on-one or even outside of the school, and we also don't really message either. I moved to London for university, and my friends from my hometown were coming up for a concert, so obviously we decided to hang out for that day. They're also big fans of Sherlock Holmes, so we decided to buy tickets to the Sherlock Holmes Museum at 221B, and it was a lot of fun. We took a lot of photos while we were in there, and so a few days later, I made a post on Instagram, and I didn't think anything of it at all. I saw that Mary had liked the post and thought that we'd be able to talk about it the next time I saw her, but that was it. Well, I come to the studio next time, and Mary was super off with me. Even the other people I was around noticed and asked what was up, but she refused to speak to anybody. Eventually, someone got it out of her that she was really upset that I went to the museum without her, that she loves it there, and I know it's something that she would have wanted to do. She said it was extremely rude, and it made her feel left out and excluded. I tried to explain that I went with friends from home, and that I was sorry if I upset her, but she just kept saying that it was a callous and mean thing to do and ended up going home early. Now at this point, I'm just confused. I don't think I've done anything wrong. We've never hung out before, and why would I invite someone from my course who I only kind of know, especially when I get to see it with my home friends? Also, is it as crazy as I think it is for her to expect me to invite her along just because it's something Sherlock Holmes themed? Because right now I'm incredibly confused and I really don't know what to do. No, I don't think you're the jerk at all. You were going with close friends. These are people from your hometown, and it's people that you have a history with. It would be way different if this was like a group from college and you were like, okay, let's go see this attraction or whatever. If that were the case and there was some kind of group from college going to this thing, then yes, absolutely invite her. She would be the #1 pick that you could think of that would enjoy this type of thing. But that literally is not what happened. You were with friends from your hometown, and these friends, by the way, are people that she doesn't know at all. So either she's just being incredibly obnoxious about this and is choosing to be offended over this in some kind of way, or she just really wanted to be a third wheel in this group setting. But either way, in my opinion, I don't think you did anything wrong. Like, you even said it yourself, you're not very close with her, so for her to act like this is some kind of massive callous thing to do, in my opinion, is a massive overreaction. It's like, lady, I don't even know you that well. We've never met up outside of college, and I've only spent time with you in class. Who in the world are you to act like I have any obligation to you in the slightest? And I can't stand people who act this way, where they believe just because they're not invited to something, that then somehow means that you just don't like them. Because that's insane. That is such an overstretch, it's not even funny. So if Mary wants to act weird, then truly, she can act weird in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, you have no obligation to this lady, especially if she's gonna act this entitled over something so small. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist at the top of the description. And if you want some chill music to put on in the background, check out easymode.com. If you like Am I the Jerk, subscribe to Am I the Genius. Everything will be linked down below in the description.